overweight veteran, so I'm already wearing a bra to hide man boobs, So it's not much of a stretch.
Furry back too. I'm just going to go out on the limb here and think we got a furry back on the phone. Anyways,
no, we're not going that far. But hey, real quick. So talking about the pieces we're working on, obviously we're still working on Matt and Jim Leipart's story. Which is huge. And, you and I and Jim have had some conversations going back and forth, even last night. So that one is still in the works, and it's going to be huge when it pops. And much like Joey Lynn's story, every time I think I'm at a point where I can close this thing out and get this thing published, he sends me new information, like just finding out that, Matt's ex-wife has been married the entire time to some other dude in Australia, right? I mean, there's just all these extra layers that just keep popping.
Why do you think corporate media didn't bite on to this story? And I do want to say to you, if you're not paying attention to what Mitch and I are doing, clearly I'm not a writer, okay? But I can find these things and happen, and we've been working together in tandem to expose the video, interviews and all the great research that Mitch does, and he releases it, folks, on Law Enforcement Today's platform. So we'll talk about that. But why do you think corporate media did not bite into this case that we're going to be exposing really soon? What's your thoughts?
Well, I'll give you this as the primary reason, and I've had this conversation with Jim and even with Matt. I was able to listen into some conversations that they've had. But look, at the end of the day, here's what's going on. You've got a guy who was accused of committing a crime, and if he was guilty, it was an egregious crime. It was sexual abuse. But again, the evidence all points to the fact that he didn't do what they claim he did. Meanwhile, Congress people, senators from their areas are turning a deaf ear and a blind eye to this. They're not digging in and helping. But you go back 3 years ago to when Bradley Manning came out as Chelsea Manning, sitting in Leavenworth, convicted of freaking espionage, right? A traitor to our nation. And because Bradley Manning became Chelsea Manning and wanted to go through a sex change operation to transition to become a female, man, Congress people were coming out of the woodwork to celebrate that and bring light to that story. Obama pardoned that freak of nature and let him out of Leavenworth, where he was supposed to be spending the better part of his adult life, for freaking releasing 700 and something thousand documents to WikiLeaks that were classified documents. Meanwhile, we've got the FBI raiding Trump's Mar-a-Lago house because he's got quote unquote documentation that may or may not be classified. We got somebody convicted of leaking classified documents to the tune of 700,000 plus documents, and Obama pardons them because he wants to be a freaking she. If something like that was going on with Matt, he'd walk out of that place today. And there would be, the media would be there, congressional members would be there, all from the left, obviously. Biden would probably name it Matt Leipart Day, right? But because Matt is a true American, he's a patriot, he served his country honorably, he's decorated, he does his job as a silent warrior, he just goes in and does what he's supposed to do, that's not making headlines. There's not even clickbait there. So, of course, they all turned a deaf eye or a deaf ear. And
let's be really clear, though.
This doesn't matter.
You're right. And it doesn't matter to many people because it's not the political highlight reel that they want. But let's be very real. And I've talked to, Matt's brother, Jim, and I, we talked directly. We've talked directly. The egregiousness to the claim against Matt is something that has me, from my background. I shared this right with Matt directly. But when you read into, and I'm talking about, the claim from the victim in this case that's perceived through the court system. And this did go through the court system in the military. That has an extra twist to why I believe there's more to this story. And I think what we're going to hopefully expose is how that system, corruption in that system, has allowed not a fair trial. Because evidence, physical, documented evidence was not admitted into these trials, and that would have probably led to an acquittal in this case. Mitch, when can we expect that to come out?
Man, I was hoping to already be done with it, but my hope and prayer is that all the stars align and I'm able to get that thing out this weekend.
Listen, we both know that every time you say you want it done, you start to research and you start to get into that nerd mode, and you just want to go deep in the story, and we want you to do that because that's exposing the truth. So, Mitch, I'm going to say it right now. I'm working hard on that Arizona situation. I have the green light. All we need is a
Sweet.
camera crew, and we can start tomorrow.
Dude,
So,
I am there.
so let's maybe Big Daddy Pump, Kyle Reyes, find us a marketing budget, get us a camera guy. We have
There you go.
gold in the waiting right here. Mitch and I
Yep.
will talk about it when
Yeah.
it's appropriate. Mitch, thanks for coming on today. Jump on
Yep.
Friday, would you please?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much. Again, there you go. Our guy, Mitch McKinley from LET, Law Enforcement Today. Go and check that platform out. Go and check out what Mitch writes. Of course, the story with Joey Lynn and the Biden bus tour that took place down there. I said down there in Texas. Is this one part of them already? And, we had that covered. But then we also, Mitch went a step further. He's working on this latest one, and we talked a little bit about it. This case is going to blow open some opportunity, I think, to look into how the international laws are affected, how we relate with Australia, how we relate with people on temporary status here. There is so much to this story that it takes a real investigative journalist like Mitch McKinley, who works with Law Enforcement Today. I think he's got a bigger career down the road. Sorry, Kyle, but I think this guy's going somewhere. And when this story breaks, this one will get attraction from the national press, 100%. And I do believe Joey Lynn's story, they've been getting some national attraction as well, because that story is about, well, corruption in another form. The Democratic machine, the campaign team for Joe Biden, suing just average, everyday Americans for simply driving alongside a bus legally, not convicted, not investigated,